Hello, welcome to Health Talk. I'm Dr. Manny. Some people who have it do not look sick, but for them something as simple as a hug can be very painful. We're talking about fibromyalgia. It's the most common chronic widespread pain condition in the U.S. And joining me now with more on it is Assistant Professor of Medicine from the University of Maryland, Dr. Pamela Peek.
Hello there.
Doc, welcome to the show. Fibromyalgia, I got to tell you, I think, a survey says that people do not understand fibromyalgia. I think we doctors don't understand fibromyalgia because a lot of times, I got to tell you, a lot of my colleagues do not believe that this is a real disease. What do you think about that?
Oh, come on. When you and I went through medical school, was there even a name like this?
Absolutely.
None. And so
Absolutely
most
not.
of us thought, okay, they're walking in with pain. It's almost like wrapping your arms around fog. I mean, who's not in pain? I mean,
Right.
What's going on here?
Exactly.
But the really good news is over the last several years, we finally have, and as a physician, and me too, that we have to have credible scientific data to be able to tell us what in heaven's name is going on here.
Right.
So let's do it.
Now, let's talk about the symptoms because, if you look at the symptoms of fibromyalgia, they're all over the place. But what are some of the common things that people should look for?
I'm going to tell you some of the diagnostic criteria, which will help you and me, and as well as people out there. So first, it's 80 to 90% women.
Yeah.
And it's because we're hardwired differently. Science now shows that we actually perceive pain very differently, and certain women are real outliers. About 6 million actually is the number. And those people, if you give them a hug or a handshake, they really feel a lot more pain. So when you ask for symptoms, the pain can be in their joints, it can be in their muscles, it can be all over their body. And the actual diagnostic criteria are you have to have at least 11 out of 18 pain points, those target points, to be able to qualify. And in addition, chronic pain in those areas for no less than 3 months. So you sit back and you say, wow, what's that all about? A lot of people have never put those little numbers together, and now we have a little something to offer people.
But how do we separate that? I mean, how do you take a patient, let's say, because I've seen a lot of patients in my practice that I kind of say, well, maybe it's arthritis, and we do the arthritic workup and I don't find anything, or older women, let's say, that maybe have some mild degrees of osteoporosis and I don't find any significant changes in the bone density. But what kind of workup do you do? I mean, you deal
it's
with all of
interesting.
this,
First of all, you deal with a diagnosis of exclusion, just like you did. So we go right down the laundry list. What are the things that are really going to be dangerous here? What do we don't want to miss? And here's the thing. Fibromyalgia cannot be diagnosed with a blood test.
Right.
So if you do find that someone has rheumatoid arthritic factor, well, obviously then they have RA, right? If you find out something else is wrong with their blood workup and all the rest of it.
Like lupus, for instance, is another common thing.
Absolutely. But in this case, no. So it's a diagnosis in many cases by exclusion.
Why is it important for us physicians to get this disease in so far as making the right diagnosis?
Right.
Because I think that people with chronic pain do change after a while.
Well, you want to know something? If you have, and we've seen this in multiple surveys, if you have people walking around in this level of pain, it's dysfunctional. They can't perform at work. They can't perform in their families. They withdraw from society. They also start developing really rotten lifestyle habits. They're sedentary. They get obese.
Right.
It turns out obesity is a big piece of the action here, and overweightedness.
And depression.
And depression.
Yeah.
So the next thing that happens is, what do you have? You have someone who's spiraling into all kinds of other disease entities, and then you forgot about the fibromyalgia.
Right.
So you got to nip it in the bud right up the bat.
How are we treating it?
Okay, interesting enough, first, it sounds like a little rant and a broken
Here we
record
go,
here.
here
But
we go.
It's that healthy lifestyle thing, but you have to do it in a very special way. Get some physical therapy, some restorative yoga. You can't just say, hey, let's go run a marathon, because just taking a walk is painful. So you start in there nice and patiently. It really works well. Nutrition, stress management. So many people have found that a lot of the fibromyalgia popped up after a big stress too. And then as physicians, one of the things that really helped was we actually now have medications to do this with. And we never had anything other than healthy lifestyle before.
What are we using for medication?
Actually, interestingly enough, it's a medication that we've used for post-herpetic neuralgia, pain after shingles, for so long. It's called Lyrica. And now it's just been approved to be able to be used here. And quite frankly, I just had a patient come in the other day, a young woman about 45 years old. The older I get, the younger 45 looks. Do you ever notice that?
Yeah, I know the feeling. I know the feeling.
And you know, she practically hopped out of her chair. She was so happy because finally she had something to help her. In addition to healthy lifestyle, having something in our armamentarium as a physician helps.
Well, thank you so much for coming to the program, for the wonderful information. So remember, fibromyalgia is a real disease, and if you need to get help, get a second opinion if you want to, because it is something that can be treated with lifestyle changes, good nutrition, maybe some antioxidants, and of course now there's medication. So until next time, I'm Dr. Manny for Health Talk.